My dad died in a car accident when I was 5, and during my primary developmental years, I was raised by my mother. She had substance abuse problems and mental health problems. She was physically abusive and neglectful. And also her side of the family that I grew up around, there was a lot of dysfunction. I was encountered by drug use at a young age. As early as grade school, I was smoking marijuana regularly. Things progressed for me as far as my substance abuse. And by the time I was in junior high, I was regularly abusing marijuana and alcohol. I would be the one organizing the party and getting a half barrel of beer and drinking every night until I blacked out, and drinking every morning at the bus stop before going to school. By the time I went through my teenage years, I had already been in multiple psychiatric units and drug and alcohol rehabs. I decided to chase having money. I thought money was success. And, so I could go full time with my studies, I started selling some marijuana, and that progressed to, large quantities of marijuana, and it was really unhealthy. And then I slipped back into using patterns again. And by the time I was in my early 20s, I was abusing cocaine quite heavily. And I stopped going to school. But also at that point, my mental health problems emerged to a much greater extent. This led to a pattern that was kind of consistent through my whole adult life, which I never got it together. I didn't understand getting a proper diagnosis for my mental health problems and getting properly medicated. I continued to abuse drugs and alcohol. I ended up homeless. I was in a tent in the woods, and I was scrounging up money to get blackout drunk on vodka every day. I had unstable mental health, and I was eating meals at the Light of Life program. And I became aware of the residential programs they had at Light of Life. And I went there and said, I'm miserable, I'm desperate, this needs to stop. I can't live like this. And they let me into their residential program. But initially, in the first 6 months, I wasn't really committed to getting, to quitting drugs and alcohol. And then at about 6 months, I started getting my SSI checks, and they gave me a couple of $1,000s in back pay. And I was in a big hurry to get out of Light of Life, get my own apartment. But I didn't continue with my mental health treatment and went back to abusing drugs and alcohol. And it only took a couple of weeks till I ended up back in a psychiatric unit in quite a mess. And I requested with Light of Life that they give me another opportunity. And the second time around, I was much more committed to a dual diagnosis recovery program. I got my ducks in a row as far as trying to line up housing and income. I've got a year and a half now. I've had my own apartment. I've got 4 years drug and alcohol free. I still continue to get regular mental health treatment, individual counseling and group counseling at Mercy Behavioral Health. They actually trust me, the Light of Life program, to facilitate a group, a peer mentoring group, as somebody that can serve as an example and relate to the guys. And I still have struggles, and I probably always will. I have some serious issues with my dual diagnosis issues. And I want to say about the Light of Life program, this program really does provide the foundation for a lot of people like me to really make a difference in their life and put their life together.